can hear. Hi, everybody. I'm Chicago psychic and intuitive consultant Mel Dorr, aka the Aloha Shirt Psychic, and I'm so excited. We got Kevin in the house. Hey, Kevin.
Hey, Mel. Hello, everyone.
How are you doing?
Doing good.
Yay.
Getting all of this crazy snow. So
yeah, we've been a lot of snow here in Chicago too, and it was cold, -3. Then we had a snowstorm and it warmed up and it all melted and
right.
It snowed again. So it's like, oh my goodness.
I still had quite a bit of snow from the last snowstorm, like a couple weeks ago. I'd gotten like 3 or 4 feet of snow, like as it was drifting. So I still had like a good foot of snow out there, but it was starting to melt.
I don't have a garage, so I have a townhouse, so we have to go out and clean all that off the car. So
Oh, wow.
yeah, I know. But it's Chicago, it's winter. What do you expect?
Right.
Okay, I'm really happy to announce that Kevin and I are going to be regulars on each other's show. So he'll be on my show every other week, and I'll be on his show every other week. And we'll get the times. Kevin wants to do a live one. I've done that once before, but he can do it from his channel and then show me how to do it.
Right. I got you.
Okay, yeah, I'm becoming computer literate in my old age. So how's life?
It's pretty good. I want to thank you so much for our collab the last time. My channel grew so much from that, and I've had a lot of people reaching out for readings. So it's really been a blessing. So thank you so much.
You're welcome. I got a lot of positive feedback about having you on, so I'm really excited.
I was checking out the comments. A lot of people liked our energy together, so I was
Yeah.
happy that it turned out so well.
I liked it.
Yeah,
it's always fun. Okay, we ready? We got a lot of questions.
Right.
I just want to touch on this one before we get started.
Okay.
So Georgina Daggett said, I had a text message today from someone who said they have a lot of money to give me. Is this a scam? They said I have to be a Christian. What do you think? Georgina, it's a scam. Don't do it. Just block them. Don't even respond, because if you do, then they can, hook into your stuff. I would have responded, no, I'm a witch. And you got a
yeah, I got it. It was a definite scam. Yeah, I would stay away from them.
Right. Okay, aloha from Hawaii, Joanna Howard. She says, the Department of Defense rejects Hawaii's order, will appeal decision to empty Red Hills fuel tanks on Oahu. Why? I don't know. You know what, Joanna, I'll look into that more and get back to you on that. But she says the Louis people are not putting up with this. I'll take a look at it. Okay, are we ready?
Yep.
Okay. Okay, well, former DJT, Donald J. Trump, Cheeto head, groupie, which former groupie will sing, in other words, provide evidence of corruption that exists? Oh, I see lots of them.
Well, who?
What former Donald J. Trump groupie, in other words, people that worked under him, will flip and provide evidence of corruption that exists? Well, we already know that corruption existed.
Right.
I mean, I see a whole slew of them turning against him.
You know what? I was getting a hit the other day, and I think if it hasn't happened, it's going to happen very soon, with Ivanka flipping on her father, especially with the New York case.
I understand she was invited to participate with the January 6th commission, and I think she declined. But a lot of psychics are saying that.
Yeah, I feel like New York is really going to be the investigation that takes down the Trumps, with all of their, for entertainment purposes only, all of their laundering of money and, bank fraud and all that. So I see that's really where the family is going to get in trouble and have their assets seized. And, I feel Junior's at least will get some jail time.
Oh, good. I see indictments for him. I didn't know about jail time, but My guides had shown me, and I've said it before, that there will be some women that bring Trump down. And so could very well be Ivanka.
Yeah.
But I do see him falling.
Yeah.
And it's starting already. Anytime that like that rally in Texas, it just showed how afraid he was. But some of the comments he made calling on people to, almost like a revolution, and it's very scary.
Yeah.
I'm just hoping it happens soon.
Oh, the indictment.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I think they're gathering their evidence. So, Denise, that's a good question. I think a bunch of them will.
Yeah.
Okay. Patricia Epperson, is Flynn turning on Trump?
I'm getting a not yet anyway, and not right now. He hasn't. I think he's starting to realize it's a sinking ship, though, and to save himself, here shortly he may, but right now he hasn't decided to.
I think a lot of them are trying to run out the clock until the midterms to see what's going to happen. And, us Dems better get busy because they could still easily take over the House and the Senate. I don't see that, but it can happen. So we got to get busy. I pulled the Five of Swords.
Well, that's a battle.
I'm sorry?
So that's a battle.
Yes. But I'm thinking if they threatened him and found stuff on him, and I've always said Flynn's not out of the woods.
Right.
And threatened him with jail time, a long time in jail, that he would flip. And I agree with you. I don't think it's anytime soon, but in the future, I do see them telling them what he knows. What do you pick?
Yeah, I feel that he will flip eventually, but not right now. Let me see. He is afraid to be. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say he is very afraid to be out in the cold with the Five of Pentacles. But right now he is still kind of drinking the Trump Kool-Aid, being a little delusional. And yeah, I still feel that pact is still together. But I think he will eventually.
There's a question here. I don't trust Flynn as far as I can throw Sears Tower. But, I'm just wondering, have they really drunk the Kool-Aid, or is it more like they know they have to affiliate with Trump because they want to hold on to their power at all cost?
Right.
I think it's more the latter.
Yeah. I think some of them are pretty delusional and kind of a drink the Kool-Aid. I mean, but I agree. They want to hold on to their power. And
I had somebody tell me the other day, it was a QAnon thing, that in 1968, and I watched it live from the moon, that it didn't really happen. It was all staged. I'm like, what? I mean, it just gets crazy. Somebody even said that, the real Biden had been killed in Guantanamo Bay, Cuba, and this Biden is an imposter. I'm like, and people really believe that?
Well, right. And or like January 6th was Black Lives Matter protesters in Antifa. Like it makes no sense. I mean, these people are just so delusional.
Very. Okay. Christian Martinez wants to know, will the cost of living go down under Governor Newsom, and will he raise taxes on the rich in California? I like Newsom.
I think he will raise taxes on the rich. I think it's still going to be an expensive state to live in, but I see with the pandemic, as it's settling down, which I think it's already starting to, I see the economy starting to get better towards the summertime.
So do I, actually. And the supply shortage ending.
Right.
So that's a good thing.
Yeah, but I do see him raising taxes on the rich.
Well, I think, California is always going to be expensive, but I think that he'll do whatever he can do to get the cost of living down.
Yeah, give a little bit of relief to people that need it.
Exactly. I see him as another term for governor, so good. I don't think he'll be out. If they recall him again, it won't work. That was just the Republicans trying to recall him, which blew up in their faces. It was a recall election as a litmus test to see what they could do in other states. That's what that was.
Right.
And
Well, and two, it's hard for a lot of these governors with, the virus. I think a lot of their approval ratings have went down because it's just been so hard for everybody. It's a hard time to lead. So I think they thought it was a shot to maybe get a Republican in there.
It was a litmus test. It really was. I think this virus will be gone though by probably March or April. I don't know if it's March or April, May. What do you think?
Well, I think that I don't think it's going to be gone for a while. However, I think it's going to be a lot more, a little bit back more to like a sense of normalcy. Like I see a couple more vaccines coming out and more medicine to help with it if you get it. I see it being a much milder strain. I think we're going to have 2 more this year, but it's not going to be like last year. It's going to be a lot more settled down and a lot more contained.
There's a new medication that's supposed to be pretty good for this. I don't know what it is. It just was approved or something. But
there's going to be a couple more new treatments, I feel, coming out this year.
The one good thing about COVID, if there's anything good about COVID, which it's hard to say anything out of it, but it did bring about a lot of research and a lot of promising treatments to treat viruses. And so
it's going to be amazing in the next 5 to 10 years, all of the medical advancements and, all of the resources that we've had to put into our medical with COVID. I see a lot of, big advancements coming up in the next decade.
Especially with the research in messenger RNA and all that stuff. I'm a science geek. And so, but, I also think what I see coming, my guides are telling me that it's going to bring about either a cure and or a vaccine for AIDS, for HIV, human immunovirus. And the technology is almost there. And there's a few companies that are working on it as we speak. Hold on, Kevin, I'm sorry.
You're fine.
Excuse me 1 second, I'm sorry. Let me just turn this off. Let me turn my cell phone off. People keep trying to call me. And I can hear it through my hearing aids. Okay, let me get back to YouTube. I apologize.
Oh, no problem.
But I do think there's going to be a lot of breakthroughs and, even in cancer research and all of that kind of stuff. So that's exciting to me.
I can't remember. I don't know if it was a client I was reading. They were talking about, a lot of big breakthroughs with AIDS. And I was feeling it. And I do feel that there's going to be a lot more advancements in, cancer treatments as well.
Cancer is a whole group of diseases, but I think some's genetic. I think certain things trigger it, but I see a lot of advancement coming, malignant melanoma, certain types of cancers. And I think, within the next 5 to 8 years, there'll be cures for certain types of cancers.
I agree.
So that's exciting. I believe in scientific research. I think they should be sinking a lot of money into it.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so Helena asked, I know in the past you never saw Donald Trump going to jail. Has that changed?
I don't think so.
I don't see him in jail. I see him indicted, but I've never seen him in jail.
I've always kind of felt, with the indictments, he's going to say that his mental fitness isn't there anymore as an excuse to get out of jail. I feel like he might end up in a facility.
I'm just, I've been saying, my guides tell me he's got to watch his health.
Yeah.
And it feels like he's not taking care of himself. And I asked for outcomes for him with the country, and I pulled the 7 of spades. The 7 of spades would mean divorce. Well, he and Melania will get a divorce, but also I think the biggest majority of us will win the divorce that we're filing from Donald Trump. But his health is not frightening me, but I still see like a lot of health issues coming for him.
I'm not one to, predict when somebody's going to pass, but I would say that I don't think it's too far off in the future. I'll just say that.
It feels like it's something to do with the head. And you know what? I pulled a card. I got the 10 of diamonds,
Hmm.
and that means death.
I agree with you. Something's off with the head, the heart, and his. I feel like something's growing in his guts.
Yeah. Well, I'm hearing just as his behavior ate away at others, that's what his body will do to him. And I don't want to see harm come to anybody. I don't.
Right.
And I'm not saying I hope that happens, because I don't. It's just what my guides are showing me. Okay. Melinda Salinas, will book banning continue and burning? I'm a teacher. Melinda, let me say one thing. I think teachers should be the highest paid people on the planet. And I think it's a sin that they're banning like Catcher in the Rye
Right.
and this book Mouse, which was about the Holocaust, and a lot of LGBTQ books they're banning, which now they're picking on us again, Kevin.
Crazy.
She said, I'm a teacher and I can barely believe what I'm seeing. Me either, Melinda. I never thought we'd see it in this country. She said, it breaks my heart, mine too. What will be the outcome of this and other such bans?
I see it kind of settling down. I think the issue with that is it's hard, I think, with the crazies, especially in certain red states with all of their local elections, with their, like their school boards and voting like that. I think that's the issue, getting all the crazies out. But I do see a lot of change coming, I think, after midterms with the Republican Party.
Because what they did is they kind of underhandedly got a lot of Trumplicans on those school boards.
Right.
And, it's a way to push their agenda, but they talk about that they're losing freedom. Excuse me, they're taking away our freedoms. Kids should have the right to read the classics, just because we don't agree with them. Now, I mean, certain things should be banned, of course, like pornography and all that. That's not cool. But these books they're banning, it's just like, what? I mean, I'm in a state of shock.
Yeah, it's insane.
I mean, that happened in Nazi Germany. That just shouldn't happen here. So, but Linda Grindle came up with something really funny, and I agreed. It doesn't, I mean, I'm against book banning. It doesn't really matter if they ban the books, because guess what? We got the internet, we got our cell phones. I mean, if I had a kid in one of those school districts, I would be carrying signs out front saying, no, our kids have the right to read these books.
Yeah, that's a good point. If somebody really wants to read something, it's not too hard to get a hold of it, right?
Exactly. It's funny. When Gary and I were in the Czech Republic, one of the tour guides, she said she had been a literature teacher. And so rather than getting interested, because we were in the car for a long time with this lady, nice lady.
Yeah.
But we wanted to hear more about like what it was like under communism. Now, for a lot of those ultra right wingers in this country say, oh, it's socialist, it's communist. Here's what she said. She said she was a literature teacher and there were certain books that were banned by the Communist Party. I think it was The Scarlet Letter or Jane Eyre or one of those. And she would have kids come to her house outside of the school, and she would have them read a copy of these books. Well, one of the kids, the father found out. The father was big in the Communist Party, and she was called in and told that if she continued, that she would be thrown in jail. And so she had to stop the underground.
Right.
And I was like, wow, that's just so foreign to people in the United States. And guess what? It's happening here. But that was a communist country. So when all these ultra right wingers say that, the rest of us are socialist or communist, wrong. They're the ones that are being authoritarian, not us. So, I think at some point people will wake up and say, wait a minute, we want our kids to have a decent education, and what you're doing is not a decent education.
Right. Well, and I think I talked about it last time I was on. I kind of see after midterms the Republican Party like fracturing into two. Because the moderate Republicans that aren't, all crazy and brainwashed, they're going to realize that, all this crazy town and Trump being the leader of their party is a loser. So I see a lot of, like a break off almost. So I think when it comes to local elections is where it gets a little tricky depending on where you live. But I see the craziness starting to die down a little bit.
At some point, I think it seems to be reaching an apex right now, though. But
Right.
I heard Marjorie Taylor Greene saying that the southern states should divorce themselves, and I'm like, that's almost like calling for secession. And I
Right.
people like Trump when he says if he's indicted, they should go out and protest and do this and do that. That's almost calling for civil war, if you will. And then saying he's going to pardon the people from the January 6th insurrection. A lot of Republicans, or some anyway, not a lot, stood up and said, no, Trump is wrong.
Right.
But we'll see.
You don't see too many leaders really push out against that, though, and they really should.
Well, because, it's almost like they're afraid to speak up to Donald because they think they can get his base. And Trump's base is not going to change. His base is his base. They're just getting more radicalized. But it's that small part that's telling the rest of us what to do. And I see that changing big time.
Yeah. Well, and then too, if you go against Trump, then he's going to attack you and fund your replacement. So I think a lot of them it's just more convenient. But you would hope that a lot more sensible people would stand up to him.
Some of them, aren't, I don't think they're afraid, or at least I think more of them will come out of the Trump closet, if you will.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't agree with Liz Cheney's politics, but I admire her courage.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. What will T. Rump be planning or doing for the midterm elections? Well, we're seeing it already.
Yeah. I see him out there campaigning for a lot of the crazies that he's trying to support. I don't see it going well, though, because if anything, I know a lot of people kind of question Biden's popularity right now, but as we saw in the last election, I think he's a lot more popular than Trump is. So,
and I think his popularity is coming up.
It is, yeah.
It's funny. Trump likes anarchy. He likes division. Because then he can say, I can fix it.
Right.
He likes the chaos, and he wants to be, he doesn't want to lose the control. He wants to be like a dictator under the guise that he's being a democracy. It's not going to work ultimately.
Yeah, I agree.
On the flag of Kentucky, it says, united we stand, divided we fall. And I can never remember, even when I grew up in the late 60s and early 70s, and I marched against the war in Vietnam and all that because I was against it. And with all the changes and protests and everything, but I have never seen the country this divided, never. It's very scary to me. So,
yeah, it's very sad.
And I tend to think what's going on in Ottawa, Ontario, which I'll get to in a second, is funded by Trumplicans here.
Oh, what's going on there?
Ottawa is the nation's capital of Canada.
Mm-hmm.
And supposedly these people protesting the anti-vaxxers, and it's almost like they're holding Ottawa hostage. There were thousands of people, now it's down to 250, but they've got vehicles and rigs blocking the major arteries to that city. And they're thinking in Canada that there's a significant element from the United States funding it, and that's behind it. Yeah. And when I read that, I'm going, that's absolutely right. And then my guides tell me, yeah, they're rehearsing for what they are planning in the USA.
Mm.
So, but everybody in Ottawa, I see, I don't know if the military will come in, but I see Trudeau really stepping up and stopping that. Yeah. Oh. So the same thing is starting to happen in Canada that's happening here.
Well, it's happening everywhere, and you have to wonder too with Russia trying to break up NATO and being so against democracy, how much money and help they're giving other countries like they gave Trump.
Well, what bothers me the most is the very ones who say they're so for democracy, the ultra right, are the very ones they're gonna. We have to have our freedom, but they're the ones that's trying to take away our freedom. Freedom to read Catcher in the Rye, freedom to be married, freedom to worship the way we want. I mean, it's crazy. But you know, Putin, he's a dictator, and he wants
He
to,
loves all the chaos.
right, because I think he's trying to bring back the old Soviet Union without it being communist, but a lot of those countries he wants under his grasp, and he's creating a lot of dissension and anarchy in the free world.
Well, I
And
don't see that working out for him in long term. I see him leaving soon.
so do I. So do I. You know, the Russians don't want war either. So, okay. So Janine, I can't pronounce her last name, Denbigh. There's your answer. Okay. Jayashri, I can't pronounce her last name. It says, do you see any improvement in our healthcare system? I think what she means is by lower premiums, more affordable.
Yeah, I feel it's a couple years out though. I feel like it's not this year. I see the Democrats. Hopefully, I see them taking the House and Senate by the Senate, especially by a bigger margin. I'm feeling like it's like 2023, 2024 that they really start focusing on healthcare.
And I ultimately see that all of the Build Back Better going through and voting rights bill at some point. Just my timing is wrong.
Well, there's going to be so many great changes that the Democrats are going to be able to get in to really help people.
Good. Will there be a war with Russia? You know, I just heard that Putin is coming up with this misinformation. So he's got some kind of fake movie that supposedly people did this to him. So he's going to do it back, but it's been exposed as a fake.
Yeah.
So if he invades, there's going to be major consequences because his idea.
I don't see.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to say his idea is to go into Ukraine and then go up into the Baltic republics like Latvia, Lithuania, and Estonia. And so I think that's why we've got troops now in Estonia. So, you know, Biden is not going to be bullied by Putin. It's not going to happen.
No, and I do see that there is going to be some skirmishes, but I'm not feeling war with Russia or NATO. But yeah, he's going to have a lot of consequences, and I think ultimately, what's going to be his downfall is when he upsets all the billionaire oligarchs, because I don't think they're going to be very happy with him. They get massive sanctions and lose all their money.
That's true. You know, I mean, I don't think the Russian people want a war either, like I said.
No.
But it's funny, you know, when Hitler invaded, in those days, Czechoslovakia, which is now Czech Republic and Slovakia, two separate countries. But he invaded the Czech Republic saying that there were German speakers there and that the government there was treating the German speakers wrong. And he came up with some kind of idea that they had done something against Germany. And that was his plan. So that was his excuse. So he invaded Czechoslovakia and absolutely nothing was done. And then what was in his plan is to go into Poland, which is exactly what he did. And when we went into Poland, that's really what started World War II, against Germany anyway, not against Japan. So, you know, Putin should learn from that. But he's using the same ploy that Hitler used. And, you know, Donald Trump uses a lot of the same techniques that Hitler used.
Right. Yeah, I don't see him being successful in the long term, but I do think that it's going to escalate a little bit.
All right. Valeria Woodford. Love you guys, Mel. Thank you. We love you too. Will Trump be arrested in February of 2022? Namaste.
No.
I don't see that. Oh, Laurie Hayes. This is a good one. Aloha, Hawaii. She's from Hawaii. Will Hawaii lower its coronavirus restrictions in the next 3 months? I say yes.
Yeah, I'm getting a yes.
Okay. Barb Mecca. Do you see Don Jr. arrested while under the influence of driving? In other words, a DUI.
It's kind of weird. I don't think he's going to get a DUI, but he may get arrested and have a substance in the system.
You know, I'd hate to be the police officer that pulled him over and gave him a DUI. Ooh, talk about daddy's influence. Woo.
Right.
Hopefully it's in New York. Does he go to jail?
I've always felt Don Jr. going to jail.
I do see him spending time behind bars. But Linda Grindle gave a breaking news. She said her guide showed her that he's going to have some major health issues and then end up in the hospital. And so I didn't pick that up until she said it. Then I got a yes.
Yeah, I was reading on that the other day. I had my live on Tuesday and somebody had asked that. And I wanted to deep dive a little bit further after my reading. I feel something's going to happen. Not that I wish that on anybody, but I think that something big is going to happen with him very soon.
See, so do I. I see his pictures. I mean, when it talks, it looks like for entertainment purposes only, you all. But it almost like he's slurring, or he looks like he's, I don't know.
He's high as a kite in most of those.
That's what it looks like.
Yeah.
I was trying to be politically correct.
Right. And I think the issue too that I was picking up when I was reading it is that Trump really is going to try to use Don Jr. as the scapegoat so that it saves Ivanka and him. And I think he knows that, and he's really nervous about it.
Trump uses everybody as a scapegoat.
Right.
Which, if he's doing it to his own kids, you're right. So what does that tell you about him as a person? He's a psychopath. He doesn't feel guilt, love, or remorse. He'd throw anybody under a bus.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Well, and blah, blah, blah. Push the teeth up. I think they're real today. Hey, how's your extraction go, by the way?
It's good. I was having some issues with it. I was thinking maybe it was infected a little bit because I didn't have a very pleasant taste or smell in my mouth. But I have some antibiotics now, and it's getting a lot better.
1 part peroxide to 3 parts water, and just like that.
Yeah,
So
I was doing salt rinses, but I had a couple people tell me to try peroxide. I'll try that.
Listerine's good too, like the old-fashioned kind.
Yeah.
Straight up. I have my Listerine straight up, thank you.
Listerine martini tonight. Anybody?
Oh, good, with a twist. What's the twist for? My supper, I need the roughage. Okay. Okay, Barb Mecca. No, I'm sorry, we already answered yours, Barb. Judy Chandler. Will Alexander Vindman win his lawsuit against Giuliani and Donnie Jr.'s and others for the dirt they created against him?
I'm getting a yes.
I see a yes too, unless they settle out of court.
Yeah.
And if they settle out of court, it would be for a non-disclosed sum. And they would say it's not a question of guilt or innocence, it's just a question of a settlement.
Right.
But Vindman's not going to give up, that's for sure. And if they try to countersue, they ain't going to win.
Yeah, I see it going in Vindman's favor, or like you said, they'll settle it out.
So do I. A lot of other people are going to come forward and file suits against Giuliani and Donnie Jr. and Senior as well.
Yeah.
And they're going to win a lot of them too. So good. Okay, this was Kathy Burt that asked us, is the Freedom Convoy in Ottawa, Canada going to end soon, or will it be peaceful? And she wants to know the political future for Canada. Well, Kathy, we've touched on that, but what happened in this country can very easily happen in Canada. So take it as a lesson, what happened here, and everybody speak up and watch how they're filling your parliament and stuff like that, because it can happen anywhere.
Yeah, for sure.
I never thought it would happen
everywhere.
here. I'm sorry?
So it's happening everywhere.
I never thought it would happen here.
Yeah.
But anyway.
I see the craziness in other countries and here, it's going to take some time, but I see it dying down. Okay.
Vera Supo wants to know, will Trump and Putin's talk behind closed doors ever be made public? You mean, Vera, the fact that Biden told Putin if he pulled anything that he would have his what on a platter? Is that what you're talking about? What do you think? I don't know if all of them will be made public, but maybe some.
I don't feel it's going to be made public. I feel like they know stuff, but.
Okay. Okay. Jay Jane, when will Amy Comey Barrett be leaving? Hopefully tomorrow.
Right. With her, I know other readers have seen her going, and she's one that's very hard to tap into her energy. I remember when she was being nominated, trying to read her, and it felt like she had like a dark black shield up around her. I do feel that she's going to leave some point. I feel like it's a little while off though.
I don't know about her, but my guides show me two more, other than the one that's coming up. In addition to that, my guides show me two more people on the court,
Yeah.
new ones. And it looks to me like one would be a Hispanic, I think, female. Okay. You know, one would be a male of color. And I see two more females coming on the court.
Yeah. I'm getting the same for my guides as you were talking about it.
Maybe,
And I do feel that it's going to be probably Thomas and Kavanaugh will be the next ones to leave.
well, I think Clarence Thomas, I don't know if he just resigns because of what's coming out about his wife. You know, the fact he didn't recuse himself is not illegal, but my guide showed me that Biden, a bunch of politicians are going to come up with a rule, a set of ethics for the Supreme Court and make that law. So,
yeah. I feel another one leaving before the end of the year, though.
So do I. But Clarence
feels like it's in the fall time, though. I think it might be Thomas, might be the next one.
I don't know if he resigns or leaves because of ill health, but I see him off the court. But, you know, Ginny Thomas, there's going to be a lot more investigations with her in the January 6th commission. And I got a feeling they might call on her to testify.
Yeah.
And obviously, if she refuses, I don't even know how a court could hear that case. I mean, they could, but I don't know what would happen if it went to the Supreme Court.
Right, she has no privilege.
I'm sorry?
So she doesn't have any privilege to
No, she doesn't, but if her husband's a justice, that's not good.
Well, right. It won't be good for him.
Exactly. Okay. You know, that's something like that I think could very well happen.
Yeah. And I think the health might be an excuse for him to leave because there's so much pressure and backlash. But I don't think he's in good health either.
You know what? Bingo, Kevin. When you said that a light bulb went on, I never thought of that. Maybe that's why I'm seeing both.
Both, yeah. I've kind of felt that.
All right, good shot.
I don't think he is in good health, but I feel like that may be his excuse to step down.
You heard it here first, everybody. Right from the lips of Kevin. All right. Donna Hensley, will some senators turn now and help Biden in order to beat the former guy?
I see a couple GOP senators helping with some stuff, but they're not going to cooperate with the Democrats all in all, but for some things they will. I see a couple Republicans voting for this new justice.
Oh, good. Yeah, I do too. A few of them. Lindsey Graham said he would. But Lindsey Graham
That's surprising though, right?
Well, Lindsey Graham is such a chameleon. You know, he just got caught saying one thing and then backpedaling. I mean, I see him gone at some point, thank God. And then Newt Gingrich showing his ugly head again. He's like a Confederate, he's like a counterfeit penny. It just shows up from time to time.
Right.
That Newt Gingrich is saying that the people in the commission are breaking the law and they should be put in jail. Maybe he should be put in jail. You know, he's got a lot of room to talk. He was pushing for impeaching Clinton because of Monica Lewinsky, and he was having an affair on his wife who was dying of cancer.
Hypocrisy.
Right? Well, Newt, all I can say is there's a word called karma, buddy. All right.
Amen.
Okay, Nerly Ogalus Blackburn. Hello, Nerly. Will there be any student loan forgiveness in the near future?
I feel like there is something that will happen before midterms that Biden will do to really kind of excite the base, but I'm not feeling it like 50 grand. It might be like 10 or 20. It's a lower amount, but it's still helpful.
What I see coming too is at some point they're going to say you can't charge this kind of interest for student loans. They have to be really, really low interest. And like when I was in college, I went to school on a loan that if I worked in healthcare for a couple of years afterwards, I didn't have to pay it back. And that's what I did.
Yeah.
And so I see more stuff coming out like that and more incentive programs so that people can go to college. and they don't
Right.
have to stay in debt the rest of their life to pay for it.
Yeah, I think you're onto something with them lowering the interest rates on the federal loans.
Personally, I think that universities should be free. But I think
I
all
think it will happen one day, but I do see some relief. It's not super liberal like how they're talking about canceling all the student loan debt.
I don't think that,
Not right now anyway.
but I think they'll make it easier. Okay. Sandy Krzyzewski, tell us what the Cuba syndrome is from. Who's doing it?
I'm feeling like it's from space. Like I'm feeling like waves, like frequencies shooting down.
I think it was sound waves, but I don't know, from space.
Yeah.
Certain sound waves will make you ill and can damage your body. And I think that's what they were doing. And I think they were using that as an experiment on people. I'm sure that the Russians were behind it.
Yeah, I'm feeling Russia as well.
Okay. Mary Ann D. Will T. Rump be successful in building houses at his Doral Golf Club in Miami, or will it be another scam? Well, the short answer is Mary Ann D. If Donald Trump's got his name on it, you can damn well pretty well bet it's got some kind of scam element.
Right.
But go ahead, Kevin. I'm sorry.
So is he going to, what was the question again?
Will T. Rump be successful in building houses at his Doral Golf Club in Miami, or will it be another scam?
Yeah, I'm not feeling that working out for him.
I'm not either. Okay, and if he does, I won't finish it. He'd bankrupt the company. Joanne Sanchez, do you think T. Rump is still in contact with Putin? Duh. No, that was not, I didn't mean it like that. And if so, is he telling Trump how to act? Meaning Putin telling Trump how to act?
I feel like Trump does still have he's trying to reach out to Putin. I don't think Putin wants to accept his calls. I think Putin's over Trump.
See, I disagree. I got a feeling they're still talking. And I got a feeling that Putin is kind of telling Trump, giving him suggestions as to what to do.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think a lot of these speeches and everything Trump is doing is Trump. But I think he's getting playbooks from Putin. I really do.
But do you feel like that's direct contact with Putin, or?
Well, maybe what you're feeling is it's not direct contact like I'm talking to you, but through channels.
Yeah, maybe.
Because then they think they can't link it. But I'm telling you that I've got a feeling, and my guides are telling me, yes, that Trump gave certain of our secrets to Putin.
Oh yeah, for sure. Other countries too.
Absolutely. So anyway, okay. Elaine Jordanson, will there be a March or April surprise against the GOP? I laugh because I'm hoping it will be.
I'm feeling March, there's going to be a lot of explosive stuff. It could even be this month. There's a lot of big stuff coming out very soon.
Oh my God, this January 6th commission is going to be huge.
Yeah.
And somebody asked if it would go on prime time, and I was like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to be glued to the television.
I think they're planning on televising, I think the middle to end of this month.
Oh my God, that's going to be
happen
huge.
soon.
There's going to be a lot of things coming out.
Yeah.
And a lot of things coming out about certain people in the GOP. Absolutely. At the very top, when Trump was having his reign of terror, I should call it.
Or even those Republican senators that went to Russia and got all that money from Putin. I feel that is going to come out before the midterms.
And a lot's going to come out about dark money as well.
Yep.
I mean, there's so much that's going to come out.
And that's why I really think that with the midterms, Democrats are going to be galvanized to come out and vote. It might not seem like it right now. I think people, aren't very excited, or, like I said, some people aren't Biden's biggest fan, but I think when all of these scandals and everything comes out, people are really going to go out and vote.
Well, if they don't come out and vote, then we're going to lose the House and the Senate. They've got to vote. And in Texas already, they're doing stuff with like the mail-in ballots, people were like, had to register to vote before a certain day. And I guess in Texas, when you would sign up, you had to use your driver's license number or social security number. And they were asking people, which one did you use? Well, you know what? I registered to vote like 35, 40 years ago. I don't know
Right.
what I used.
Yeah.
Who can remember? So if that goes to the Supreme Court, the court's going to say, even this conservative court, that you cannot restrict people's rights to vote.
I see. I'm not sure if it's the exact same voting bill out right now. I think it might be trimmed up a little bit, but I do see something coming up for the midterms.
All right. ESL, will the Democratic candidate win the next election for governor in Illinois?
I'm feeling it's still staying Democratic.
I think my feeling is we'll continue to have a Democratic governor. So Chicago's, I mean, hugely blue.
Yeah.
There's certain areas of downstate that are red, but predominantly blue. Okay.
Yeah, you have a lot of bigger like cities, like suburbs off of Chicago that are pretty diverse for Midwest state.
Well, I mean, Chicago, I think, I forget the population, not right in the city, but with suburbs and everything. It's like 7 or 8 million. That's not right in the city.
Right.
I mean, if you count the suburbs, Chicago kind of starts from Indiana and runs almost to Wisconsin, not the city, but with the suburbs. I mean,
Yeah.
they stack up. So, okay. Fed girl, there's been a lot of talk about banks going under and crypto money taking over, virtual money. Will this really happen? I see a lot of advertising about it, and I'm skeptical that it's propaganda. You're right, it is.
Yeah.
I would think this would have to be regulated in order to be safe. Thanks. Want me to read it again?
So are banks pretty much turning to crypto? Is that what the question is?
No. What she's asking is, oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. Are banks going under? Oh, no. Are the banks going to fold? Are they going to go under? Are they going to go bankrupt?
No.
And then crypto money taking over.
No, I don't see the banks. I don't see that going out. I do see crypto kind of expanding a little bit. I do think eventually too, we're going to kind of switch off from having cash, like physical cash, into more like electronic banking, but that's a while off. So, well,
the problem with crypto is it's not regulated, but at some point I think they're going to regulate it more, at least legitimate crypto. The problem is a lot of countries buy it all up, and then supply and demand, so that inflates the price. Right. And what they do is they sell it at an inflated price and dump it all back in the market, and then it's too much supply, and that brings the price down, and it crashes crypto. So it's been pretty volatile, I think. But I'm not saying don't invest in it, but I would be careful. I mean, Fed, I think a lot of it is propaganda. I really do. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's the same thing with the stock market. It's I don't give investing advice, just because that's not my specialty.
I don't either, but I can talk about the stock market and stuff. I just, if you want to invest in crypto, I can't say don't do it. Just be careful.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Denise Stahl, Mel, will the influence of the family, the Trump family, I think, be brought to light and subsequently wane or vanish?
Oh yeah, their whole empire is going to crash. All their properties I see being seized and sold. They're not going to have a pot to piss in by the time all these investigations are done.
Can we say the P word on YouTube? I guess we can.
Sorry.
I'm teasing. Hey, I've heard it before. I made you turn
I think it'll be all right.
Okay. Linda Grindle says ass, so I guess you could say that.
Yeah.
Okay. Am I going to go to YouTube jail? Probably. Okay, Pat Lee.
I'm sorry.
No, don't be sorry. You could say that word. It's not like we.
I think you'll be all right. Oh.
It's not like we haven't heard it before.
Right.
Oh my God, they'll ban that. Swear banning. I don't know. Anyway. Okay, Pat Lee. Hi, guides. I don't know about this. What do your guides say is the meaning of a 5% point star in a person's palm? I have no clue.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you.
My guides aren't answering that. I can try to look it up and see, but I'm just not picking up anything on it. Okay, what do you see happening to Don Jr.? To John. What do you see happening to Don, his wife to be Kimberly? I can't pronounce her last name. Goldfly.
Gilroy?
Yeah. Are you picking up anything on it? If they marry, I see a divorce.
Yeah, I don't see it being long term. I think that they may marry, and that actually kind of feels more of like an arrangement to me than anything else. But yeah, I see a divorce.
Okay. Semprus, I like this. Hey, hi. I'm trying to come up with ways we can all do something to help combat the extreme right fascist movements that are gaining traction. Wondering if maybe the Card Stars guys could provide some ideas or encouragement.
I always say, and it's kind of been an issue a little bit with, since Trump's been president. I mean, I think the most that we can do for them is to send them love and light, and hope that they can come to reality in a sense.
I don't know if they'll ever come to reality. They're too power hungry. At least, many of them won't. Some will, but I don't think. But you know what, Kevin? I think Semprus, here's what I'm saying. My guide showed me a mouth, like a big mouth with red lips, and it's speaking, and words are coming out, and then it's singing, and the volume gets louder and louder. So the answer is speak up and say,
Well, yeah.
We will not tolerate racism. We will not tolerate injustice. We will not tolerate anybody taking away our freedoms, our rights to vote, our rights to free speech, any of that. And, you have to speak up. You can peacefully protest. There's nothing wrong with peacefully protesting. It's a constitutional right. Even if you live in a state where you have Republican representatives or senators, write them letters. Let your voice be heard. The squeaky wheel gets the oil, as an evidenced by Donald Trump. So, it doesn't mean we have to hate. It just means we have to say we will not tolerate hate or injustice.
I agree with that. Definitely, we should speak our truth and stand up for what's right. But I mean, in the sense of actually getting through to these people, you can't, because they're brainwashed. So, I mean, that's what I'm saying. I would just send them enlightenment, but yeah, stand up for yourself and for others.
Exactly. And that's what we have to do.
Yeah.
If you see somebody being mistreated unfairly, speak up.
Yeah.
Okay, Tia Pickerel. Oh, this is a good one, Tia. Will Senator Elizabeth Warren be a cabinet member in the next Democratic administration?
I'm feeling she stays in the Senate, although I would love for her to be a cabinet member. I think she's wonderful, but I think she's staying in the Senate.
I'd like to see her as president.
Yeah, she was my favorite.
I liked her.
But
well, she's going to do a lot more for, voting rights and up and all of that. I think she'd have an opportunity. They'll ask her to be in a cabinet. But, Biden could have asked a lot of people to be in his cabinet. But if you do, then, you have to, I don't know how that works. They appoint a different senator. But I think for right now, she's best left to serve the Senate.
Yeah, I agree.
I think she's going to win a lot of awards for the stuff she's done.
Yeah, and I see her taking being the head of a lot of bills and really doing a lot of good in the Senate.
Yeah, she will. Okay, Alice Leong. Hi, will it ever come out that Trump has a love child somewhere in Europe? I'm going to answer this one and just say it'll come out that Trump has a lot of improprieties, and I'll leave it at that.
I was going to say, yeah, I mean, we all know that there's a lot there, but I'm not feeling anything public or,
Okay, Frank Harden. Can you talk about the vaccines and boosters? Do your guides think they are safe? Will there be any health problems down the road, or could it really cause infertility? Well, Frank, I had COVID, and trust me, it ain't pretty.
Right.
I've had all 3 vaccines and I've had absolutely no side effects whatsoever. And I think a lot of people coming out saying that the vaccines are unsafe is really, I just think a lot of propaganda. I mean, if somebody chooses not to get vaccinated, I understand that, but you don't have the right to infect others. So wear a mask.
Yeah.
But in my opinion, it's not going to cause infertility at all. I mean, I know somebody that was not vaccinated who was pregnant and got COVID, and that wasn't good.
Yeah.
And so I think, I can't tell somebody to take it or not to take it, but when it came out with my age group could take it, I got the vaccine because I did not want to get COVID. I mean, about the only side effect I had was a little bit of a sore arm.
I felt a little sick after my second dose, but like a low-grade fever, body aches and chills for a day. But I think that's much better than catching COVID.
Oh, absolutely.
My guides show me that it's safe. But yeah, like you said, I'm not going to tell people to get it or not, but yeah, at least wear a mask if you're not going to vaccinate.
Hold on, I just lost my place here. I hit the wrong button. Okay, just give me a second. Oh, here we go. Okay, so yeah, Frank, I can't say to get it or not get it, but I think, at least in my opinion, and people say, oh, they came up with it so quickly. Yeah, but it was based on existing technology that we had. And
right.
So I don't think they would have approved something if it would be harmful. And people say, oh, well, so-and-so told me that so-and-so died of the vaccine. Okay, there's going to be a few people that might have a negative reaction to it. But if you weigh that against the amount of people who died of COVID, what is it, 700,000 or 800,000 people, almost 1 million people? Hello, I'll take the odds on the vaccine.
I'm with you on that.
Okay. All righty, we got time for a few more here.
All right.
Okay, let me take a look. Okay. Hold on 1 second. Okay. Just Almery asked, Honduras, where he was born, just got its first female president, making history. Vice President Kamala Harris was in attendance for her inauguration. Will the new president bring change for the better to Honduras after so much corruption and improve relations with the US?
I feel it's going to be a struggle, but I do see progress coming. It's going to take time to get rid of some of that corruption, but I see it as progress. Okay.
I think they're going to work with the US and really work to stop corruption there and do a lot for human rights. So good. Okay, Issy 444. Hi, Mel. Thanks for introducing Kevin.
Yeah, thanks.
He's awesome. Well, we all think Kevin's awesome. Well, this whole community is a blessing. Kevin, I read that because I thought you might like the kudos.
Thanks, Mel.
Okay. Okay, Michelle Storita, I can't pronounce the name. Thank you, Mel. Will they ever change the tax laws so that when living and working abroad, you don't have to file taxes? The United States and North Korea are the only 2 countries that have this law.
Where you have to file taxes in a country.
If you work abroad, if you make over X amount, you have to file taxes.
From the US, you have to file taxes.
Correct.
I mean.
Correct. I think, yeah. I think you have to file. I don't know how it works, but I do.
I heard yes, that there will be changes to that.
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing too. Okay. Oh, here. Jen T wants to know, Democratic Senator Binlay Lujan from New Mexico has suffered a stroke. He is 49 years old. Will he make a full recovery? His health is most important, but puts the Dems at disadvantage for voting at this time.
Yeah, I'm feeling he's going to make a full recovery.
I hear recovery there too.
I don't think it was a major stroke. I think it was on the minor side. I think he's going to recover here soon.
Okay, I'll ask this one, then we'll go. John Sullivan, when we cross over, do we meet relatives whom we didn't like in our life, or do they just stay away? That's good. I like that.
Well, when we cross, we lose the ego, and it's all love and light on the other side. So even if you didn't get along in this life, there's still that love and that soul connection on the other side. So I would say that, yeah, that they come around if you want them to, but
Well, I think there's different levels of light. And I think some people who have created a lot of wrong when they walk the planet, they stay stuck until they
Yeah.
work the karma of that. So
it's a lower vibrational level, but for the most part on the other side, it's all love and light.
yeah, this is better. I like vibrational level. That's good.
Yeah.
Kevin, we answered a lot of questions.
We did.
It's always a pleasure. Next time I'll be on Kevin's show.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
And Kevin says we'll do it live. So he'll have
I
to,
like the energy from the chat when you're live, you know.
he'll have to tutor me on that one, but
I'll help you.
well, I did one once and I didn't even know that I was live. I'm like, what am I doing? And I saw the channel and it's like, oh my God, I'm live. I don't know what I did, but whatever it was, it worked.
I think I remember that.
I'm sorry.
I think I remember when you went live.
Yeah.
I'll help you with that. It's fun.
Okay, thank you. It's been a pleasure, Kevin. I'm going to stop the recording, everybody. I wish you well if you're in Chicago or in the Midwest or Ohio and all those areas where it's cold. I see a bunch more blizzards coming, everybody, to the east. So be prepared. And some more coming in Texas too, like some bad weather down there.
Yeah.
Anyway, stay warm, stay safe, and namaste. Kevin, don't go.
Bye, everyone.